Welcome back to Learn English Naturally. You know, we love to take these deep dives, and today we're diving into the world of work,
That's right.
but with a twist.
Ooh, a twist.
We're not just talking about jobs and careers in general. We're going to be focusing on all the vocabulary and phrases you need to talk about work in English.
Exactly. Whether you're a language learner or just looking to expand your professional vocabulary, this deep dive is for you.
You got it. And guess what? We're even going to practice some pronunciation together. By the end, you'll be able to hold basic conversations about your job like a pro.
It's true. Sometimes all it takes is a few key terms and phrases to make a big difference.
Absolutely. So let's lay the foundation with some key vocabulary.
Sounds good.
All right, first up, we have the word job. Pretty basic, right?
Right.
But it's a good place to start. We're talking about the work you do to earn a living, those everyday tasks and responsibilities that fill up your workday.
And it's interesting to note that the word job actually has a fascinating history.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
It comes from the old French word gobe, which means mouthful.
A mouthful, huh? So you can think of a job as a mouthful of work. I like that. All right, so we've got job. Now, how about occupation? Is that the same thing?
It's similar, but occupation is a bit more formal. It refers to the broader category of work someone does.
Okay, so like doctor is an occupation.
Exactly. But within that occupation, you could have many different jobs,
Yeah.
like a surgeon or a pediatrician.
Gotcha. So job is more specific and occupation is more general. And then we have career.
Yes. And career takes an even broader view. It's like the big picture, all the jobs and experiences you have throughout your entire working life.
So it's more about the journey.
Exactly. The progression and development in your chosen field over time.
Makes sense. Now here's one that even native English speakers sometimes mix up. Full-time versus part-time.
Ah, yes. That one can be tricky.
It all comes down to the number of hours you work, right?
You got it. Full-time usually means around 35 to 40 hours per week, while part-time means fewer hours than that.
All right, so we've talked about the work itself. But what about the place where we do all this work? What do we call that?
Well, there are a few terms we could use. One is company, which refers to the organization or business you work for.
Right. And within a company, you might have an office.
Yeah.
That's usually a dedicated space for administrative or professional work.
And of course, not all workplaces are traditional offices. You could work in a factory, a store, a hospital.
Or even from home these days.
Absolutely. The modern workplace is quite diverse.
Speaking of diversity, let's talk about the people we work with. What do we call those folks?
Well, the people you work alongside those are your colleagues.
Our trusty colleagues.
Right. You share the same work environment, often collaborate on projects.
It's so important to have good relationships with your colleagues.
Absolutely. They can be a great source of support, mentorship, even friendship sometimes.
For sure. And then, of course, there's the boss,
The big cheese.
right? The person who manages and supervises your work. They give you direction and feedback.
And that relationship with your boss can really make or break your work experience.
No doubt about it. Now let's talk about salary, because everyone loves talking about money.
It's true.
So salary is the money you earn for your work, usually a fixed amount you receive regularly.
Right. Often monthly or annually.
And what about those who work independently get paid for specific projects?
Those are freelancers.
Ah, freelancers. They have a lot of flexibility.
They do. They choose their projects. Their clients often set their own hours.
It's a whole different way of working. Now let's talk about a happy event in anyone's career, a promotion.
Ah, yes. That's always a good feeling.
Means you're moving up in the company, getting more responsibility, but also more rewards.
And on the flip side, sometimes people find themselves unemployed.
Meaning they're without a job and looking for a new one.
Right. It can be a challenging time, but it's important to stay positive and use those resources to find something new.
You got it. So we've covered a lot of ground here. Basic vocabulary related to jobs, the workplace, the people we work with.
The building blocks.
Exactly. But we're just getting started.
Oh, yes. There's much more to come.
Stay tuned.
All right. Welcome back. Now that we've got some of those key vocabulary words down, let's move on to some phrases you can actually use in conversations about work.
Okay, yeah. I'm ready to put these words into action.
Me too. So let's picture this. You're at a networking event,
Okay.
and someone comes up to you and asks, "What do you do for a living?"
Yeah, that's a classic. How should we answer that?
Well, you could keep it simple and say, "I'm O," and then fill in your job title.
Like, I'm a teacher.
Exactly. Or, "I work as a," and then your job title. So you could say, "I work as a graphic designer."
Right. And if you want to give a bit more context, you could add at or for, and then the name of your company.
Good point. So you could say something like, I'm a project manager at a tech startup, or I work as a consultant for a global firm.
Perfect. And what if you want to mention whether you work full-time or part-time?
Easy peasy, just say, I work full-time or I work part-time. Straightforward and to the point.
I like it. Now, let's say you've just landed a new job.
It's exciting.
How would you share that news?
You could say, I just started a new job as a pittery, and then your job title at, and then the company name.
So like, I just started a new job as a marketing coordinator at a fashion magazine.
Exactly.
Love it. And what if you want to talk about how long you've been with a company?
You could use a phrase like, I've been with the company for, and then the number of years. Or I've been working there for, and then the duration.
So something like, I've been with the company for 5 years, or I've been working there for a decade.
Yeah, just like that.
All right, how about if you get a promotion? That's always good news to share.
You could say, I was recently promoted to, and then your new job title, or I got a promotion last month.
That's definitely worth celebrating. But let's be real, not everything at work is sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it can be pretty demanding.
That's true.
How can we express that?
You could say something like, my job can be quite demanding, or it's a challenging role, but I find it rewarding.
Yeah, acknowledging the difficulty, but also highlighting the positives. And what if you're just feeling super overwhelmed?
Then you might say something like, I'm swamped with work right now, or I have a lot on my plate this week.
I think we've all been there. And sometimes you just need to ask for help.
Absolutely.
How would you do that?
You could say, could you lend me a hand with this? Or would you mind helping me out with? And then specify the task.
Those are good ones. Polite and respectful.
And if someone asks you for help, you could say, sure, I'd be happy to help, or let me know how I can assist.
Teamwork makes the dream work right.
Right.
Okay, let's switch gears for a minute and imagine we're in a job interview.
All right, game face is on.
It can be nerve-wracking,
Right.
but knowing some key phrases can really boost your confidence.
I agree. So a common question you'll probably get is about your work experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
How should we answer that?
You could use phrases like, I have, and then the number of years of experience in, and then your field, or in my previous role at, and then the company name I was responsible for, and then list your key responsibilities.
That gives a clear picture of your background.
And another common question is about your strengths.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loves talking about their strengths.
Well, you want to highlight those positive attributes. So you could say something like, I'm a highly motivated and results-oriented individual, or I'm a strong communicator with excellent problem-solving skills.
It's always good to have some specific examples ready to back those claims up.
Agreed. And then there's the dreaded question, why do you want to work for our company?
Ooh, yeah. That one can be tough.
It's your chance to show that you've done your research and that you're genuinely interested. You could say something like, I'm impressed by your company's commitment to, and then mention something specific you admire. Or, I believe my skills and experience align perfectly with your company's goals.
It's all about showing your enthusiasm and understanding of the company.
Exactly. So we've covered a lot of ground here, from casual conversations with colleagues to formal job interviews.
We're getting pretty fluent in workplace English.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Learn English Naturally. We've talked about vocabulary. We've practiced phrases. Now it's time to put it all together.
Right. Let's see how these phrases work in real-life workplace situations.
Like we're actually there.
Exactly.
All right, so scenario number 1. You're at a company social event.
Okay.
You're mingling. You meet a colleague for the first time. I'll be the newcomer, Sarah, and you can be David, the friendly coworker.
Sounds good.
All right. Hi, David. It's nice to finally meet you. I'm Sarah. I just joined the marketing team last week.
Hey, Sarah. Welcome. Great to have you on board. I'm David from sales.
Sales? That sounds interesting. What do you do there?
Well, I mainly focus on developing new business leads, managing client relationships. It's pretty fast-paced, but I enjoy the challenge. What about you, Sarah? What kind of work are you doing in marketing?
I'm mostly assisting with social media campaigns and content creation. Still learning the ropes, but everyone's been so helpful.
Oh, yeah. It always takes a bit of time to get settled in. But hey, if you ever have any questions about anything or need help, just ask. We're all here to support each other.
Thanks, David. I appreciate that. So how long have you been with the company?
Let's see, about 5 years now. Started in a junior role and worked my way up.
That's impressive. Seems like there's some good opportunities for growth here.
For sure. The company really values professional development, encourages people to take on new challenges.
Well, I'm excited to be part of the team and see where things go.
I bet you'll do great.
So listeners, did you catch how Sarah and David use those simple phrases we talked about? Like, what do you do there? Or, I've been here for.
Exactly. Just natural, easy ways to learn about each other's work and experience.
And they also use phrases like welcome aboard and feel free to ask to create that friendly, supportive vibe.
Right. It's all about making those connections.
These are the kinds of conversations that happen all the time in workplaces, so it's great to practice them and feel comfortable using them.
Agreed. Now let's try a different scenario. You're in a team meeting, and you need to ask your boss for an extension on a deadline.
Ooh. Okay, I can feel the pressure already.
All right, I'll be the boss this time. And you can be Mark the employee.
Got it. Mark reporting for duty.
So Mark, the deadline for that marketing report is next Friday. How are things coming along?
Well, to be honest, we've hit a bit of a snag. The data analysis is taking longer than we expected, and we're still waiting on some feedback from the client.
I see. But we really need that report finalized as soon as possible. It's crucial for the campaign launch.
I know, and we're working hard to get it done. Would it be possible to get a short extension on the deadline? Maybe till the following Monday. That would give us the extra time we need to make sure everything is accurate and complete.
Let me see what I can do. I'll need to check with the other teams and see how that impacts the timeline. I'll let you know by the end of the day.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So listeners, did you hear how Mark used phrases like, we've hit a bit of a snag, and would it be possible to get an extension?
Yeah, he was polite and clear about the situation.
Right. And he also reassured the boss that the team was committed to delivering a high-quality report.
It's a great example of how to communicate those challenges and negotiate deadlines professionally.
Absolutely.
Well, we've come to the end of another deep dive
Time flies when you're having fun.
and learning. We've covered so much, from basic vocabulary to practical phrases to realistic scenarios.
You're well on your way to mastering workplace English.
So remember, keep practicing. Keep using these phrases.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn.
Exactly. The more you immerse yourself in the language, the more natural it will become.
We had a blast exploring the world of work with you today.
And we hope you did too. Don't forget to subscribe to Learn English Naturally and tune in for our next deep dive. We'll be exploring another exciting topic. Until then, keep learning and keep practicing.